Okay, so summary for Gold West. First off, as I kind of mentioned briefly in I think the introduction, it's a really interesting little game to try and categorize. Because, I mean, it has hints of Euro-y elements. There's some kind of sort of area control, sort of-ish, but not really kind of. You know, and then you've got this whole conveyor belt thing going on from turn to turn. You know, so it's a very hard game to pin down, really, because it doesn't fit neatly into the usual categories. I mean, you're obviously not going to call it a thematic game. You know, there's no minis or dragons, you know, but it's, you know, Euro-y, but sort of not, but a little kind of abstract, but not really, and sort of, and, you know, so whether or not you enjoy this one's going to be a tough call to make without trying it out first.
Yeah.
We've found it to be reasonably enjoyable, all in all, yes. No dissent thus far.
It's definitely not dissent.
Yeah, right. You know, and it's quirky enough that, you know, even in a collection our size, which numbers in the low 500s at this point, I think, it has a place of its own because it's just quirky enough to stand out. You know, you can play Gold West or question mark, you know, or what. It's not like, you know, one of our bazillion Euros where it's like, well, you know, we can play one of our 50 Uwe Rosenberg games, or which one? It doesn't matter. You know, take your pick. No offense to Uwe, we love his games, but
which is why we have so many.
Like, take your pick, whichever. But yeah, no, so it's definitely got its own place because it does its own unique little things, and it's very interesting in that way. And at the moment, you know, always check the dates these videos are made for accuracy on this information, but at the moment it's going for, you know, I think it was like around $35 or so on average online, which, you know, fantastic. I mean, whole lot of game for that price. Again, check the date this was made before you yell at me, because things go out of print and get expensive.
They do. Well, and
what game was that? I can't even remember what it was, but somebody went ballistic in the YouTube comments. They're like, this game isn't available for this price. Rah, 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 rah. I'm like, the video's 1.5 years old. What do you want? Also, here's a link to where you can get it for that price. Oh, well, I'm in Canada or something. It's like, okay, here's a link to a Canadian store where you can get it for that price. And I found that in 5 seconds with Google. Okay, I'm not Canadian, nor do I live in Canada. So, anyway, wow. Yeah, that was...
Just lost it.
Anyway.
Whoa. Whoa.
No, but that's just me goofing on somebody. Obviously, you know, it's all good. Just check the date before you... Anyway, so, Gold West, which is still the subject. Yeah, so no, the components are kind of a mixed bag in this one. I really like the board, you know, the neat little pieces and stuff, the way you can change it differently for, you know, different player counts and stuff. But I really, really am annoyed by these player boards. I mean, if you can see that, it's like practically U-shaped right out of the box and super flimsy.
I was like, it's pretty much glossy cardstock.
Yeah, glossy card. I mean, look at the corner. If you can see that, they're already denting and fuzzing. You know, it really feels like they cheaped out on the player boards compared to everything else, which is really nice. Yeah. I mean, look at the thickness of this board. That's,
the thickness of each of the tokens,
really
the wood bits, the colors are vibrant.
It's like, I could understand, you know, going cheap to keep the game cheap. That's understandable. But everything else is really nice. And it seems discordant somehow, you know, kind of off. But, yeah, really, it's a fantastic production for the price and very, very quirky, you know. So if you liked what you saw in the gameplay section, I'd say it's worth giving a try.
Well, and one thing I think to keep in mind is that it does, I mean, it's the same game, but it feels really different with each different player count.
Yeah, that definitely changes things up, because down in the 2-player game, there's very little competition really for most spaces, because chances are you've got an equivalent space somewhere near you. Yep. So, But yeah, no, so definitely worth checking out if you liked what you saw. Really interesting little game. I have a feeling it's going to stay in our collection for quite a while. So, yeah.
Pip?
Oh, right. Yes. I kept forgetting to mention it on the last few. This was graciously given to us by Will Moeller, I believe his name was. An awesome participant in the paid forward first thread on Board Game Geek. Well, Geek List, not thread, but still. So thank you, and hopefully we'll have videos of the 50 bazillion other things he sent us at some point. But their rule books are much more painful. Much more painful, Phil Eklund. Anyway,
is this
yeah,
the
so,
one? Okay.
yeah, he's the one who sent us Neanderthal and Greenland and
Yeah, but
Pax
they're worth
Porphyriana
it.
and Pax Pamir. I know, but they're hard.
But they're fun.
Anyway, so yeah,
that's
that's
all
enough
this is.
crazy. That's Gold West. Hope you enjoyed it. Got something useful out of this. And until next time, get off your computer, play some more games.